dressing price. All my rings got weight to it. You feel that? You feel that? Hey, you heard that? Classic.
Hey everybody, welcome back to Impact to Insight. We're here today with an exciting episode with Colin Vugteveen. Vugteveen.
It's pretty Dutch.
Pretty Dutch. And so we're going to have a conversation with Colin. He is the 2025 GRAR Rookie of the Year. So congrats on that.
Thank you.
Yeah. And so why don't you tell us just a little bit about yourself and the history and what brought you into real estate?
Yeah, first of all, thanks for having me on, guys.
Our pleasure.
Appreciate it. My name's Colin Vugteveen. I'm a realtor at Apex Realty Group here in West Michigan. I got into real estate at a younger age, I'd say, with a heart to serve people, and I'm just really looking forward for the opportunity to be here and have a good discussion.
So what got you into real estate specifically? You went from high school and decided you were going to do what?
Yeah, so I didn't know what I was going to do. I knew I did not want to go to college, but I knew I had to do something. So I started a power washing business, and that's where I kind of learned how to communicate with people. Did a lot of door knocking. Don't want to do that anymore. I'm done door knocking. And then I had the opportunity to get into real estate. My broker, Brian DeSmit, came to my school and talked about it, and I was super interested, so just jumped straight in out of high school.
So when he talked with you, did he set any sort of expectations of what your first year would look like?
Being totally honest, I didn't know what to expect my first year, right? You're going into an industry where there's so much to learn that I think my mindset was survive and growth. Let's survive the first year and grow as much as possible. So it was learning as fast as humanly possible, being prepared, and just getting in front of the right people.
Did you have somebody come alongside you then when you joined up? Did you have somebody come alongside you as a mentor or as a team lead or something like that kind of helped you out and get started?
Yeah, so the agents at Apex are all solo agents. So Michaela Lee was my mentor and still is today. And she helped me through every step of the process.
So when you had your first year, did you start to set goals when you walked in and said, hey, this is my plan? Or were you winging it based on what they were telling you?
Yeah, I didn't know what a good year was. I was just like, I'm going to go for this and I'm going to work my tail off and see if I can make a career out of it.
And what was the outcome after 2025? You came into it and really started winging it. Did you start to tailor it into something that you wanted to do all the time? Your daily routine, your monthly routine, was there something that you started to get yourself into?
Yeah, I think with real estate, if you're gonna do it, you have to do it. It's not just a side gig, maybe do it on the weekends. It's full time. So when I got into it, I'm treating it like a business. And coming off from a power washing business, I was able to implement those kind of daily routines into real estate. So it was day in, day out working.
Can I just jump in? So then obviously we went through your first year. What did it take to get that first deal to pop? Like, where did you cultivate that relationship and get that to go?
Yeah, it's a good question. So all my leads starting out and still are open houses.
Okay.
So it was sitting at open houses, waiting for that buyer to come and then building that trust. And starting out when you're young, new to the industry, building that trust is huge.
Sure. What I think is so impressive is that you pulled, was it 12 deals you did? 11, something in that ballpark your first year? The fact that you as a young person, newly in the business, were able to pull that kind of business from open houses is huge. And I think it's a message that needs to get out there because, I mean, I'm sure you hear it, but I mean, we talk to realtors all the time. I'm not working open house. You can't get in business selling open houses. Like,
I'll
the
take
rookie of the year
I'll take
can.
your open houses.
Right, exactly, right.
So what was the outcome of your first year? Jason said 11 or 12 deals. What was the end result?
Yeah, I saw my first year as a success because I survived.
Sure.
I made it. I didn't quit, and I made a career out of it. So I don't so much look on the deals as a success. Like, yes, that is a part of the business. That's great. But I look at the clients that I turned into friends that then referred me to their friends. That's where I see the success in the business.
Did you tend to gravitate towards buy side or sell side?
Starting out buy side. Yep, a lot of buyers, a lot of first-time home buyers too. which is fun because you go through the whole entire process. It's a lot more work for the same check, but it's fun.
So talk about that for a second. When you're working with buyers, what was the work that you had to put into that to have a successful transaction?
Yeah, so with buyers, it's going through every single step of the process, 1 point at a time. So it's making sure they know what they're signing, what they're going through, and making sure that they feel confident. If they feel confident, that's a win.
So let's talk about the struggles you faced. What were some of the struggles that you found that you walked into your first year that you didn't expect?
Lots of them. Going into the first year, I wouldn't so much say they were struggles, but learning curves, right? I've never done this before, so everything was a learning opportunity. And I think I had a lot of learning opportunities the first year, and I had them quick. I think the main one was building trust right off the gate, right? You're new, you're young. How do you build that trust with those clients? That was probably the main one.
Let's expand on that. So, I mean, is there anything in particular you're willing to share of what you did to earn that trust? Because you're right. I mean, people come in. I think a stat I heard was that every person in West Michigan knows 5 to 7 realtors. So you've got that knock against you because you're brand new, dude. So, I mean, what kind of things did you do to cultivate that relationship to get them to have trust in you?
Yeah, I think kind of comes down to 3 main things of how I see it. First one is being prepared. You have to know what you're talking about. You have to be more prepared than any other person in the industry with that client. The second one is you got to be genuine. People can sniff it out right away if you're being salesy or not who you are. So be genuine. And then the third one is just serve. Serve. You got to have a servant heart to be able to make it in this industry because it's a people's business. You're working with people all day. So if you do those 3 things, you'll gain trust pretty fast.
I'm going to run you through a few different things and I want to get your comments on it.
Ooh,
okay.
I'm excited. Come on.
These are things that maybe you would have struggled with in your first year, but I want to hear how you handled these particular things.
Okay.
Underpricing your time.
Yeah, time is so valuable, especially now, how I look back on the first year and say, where did I spend my most time? And then how did that convert to leads, clients? Yeah, time is a big part.
So did you find yourself tracking hours? Did you find yourself scheduling differently, time blocking, or any of those types of things to get yourself to become more efficient?
Nope. Nope. My first year was yes to everything. You got a networking opportunity? Yep, I'm going to it. You got a after party for something else? Yep, I'm going to it. So my days were filled with yeses. There was no like, nope, sorry, I got to set this time away to make this many calls. It's like, yep, I'm going to it. I'll make the calls later.
So how do you think that translates into year 2? Or are you going to do the same yeses, or you feel like you have to now start to limit some of that yes to serve more effectively at other things as your business grows?
I think the first year in real estate, you have to say yes to everything, every opportunity. Second year, I take what worked the first year, and now I implement it into my second year. So a lot less yeses, but still taking up opportunities.
Number 2, being overly prepared instead of taking action. How much time did you spend trying to get prepared for a presentation, writing a contract, working with somebody, versus taking action?
I think there's a fine line for being over prepared and then not taking the action, like you said. But when you're starting out, you have to be over prepared. You have to know everything. And so if that means staying up a little bit later at night, getting some less sleep, but you know everything, then yes, you have to do that. But at the same time, you got to take action. You got to go. So yeah, find your line.
How much time did you spend learning about contract versus real estate, going out and actually seeing real estate and learning about the property versus learning even about mortgages and legal items and other things? Where do you feel like you spent the most time spending that time preparing?
Yeah, In the beginning, it was sitting down in my office looking through all different types of documents, every single kind you could think of, and knowing it front and back. I could read it upside down by the end of reviewing all of them. So I did a lot of that. Apex was great with mentoring, with actually going out into the field and shadowing. I was a shadow for agents. I was right behind them, learning what they were doing. And then different, like you said, lending, going to different things that you guys had, networking events, learning from those, continuing ed, those are huge. Learning from that and being able to network within those groups too.
All right, number 3, not knowing every answer. How did you handle that when something came up that you didn't know?
Yeah, going back to being genuine, I think not knowing an answer is totally okay, but you have to be honest. You got to say, I don't know that answer, but I'm going to go back, I'm going to find out, and I'm going to know that answer by the end of today, and then we'll move forward.
How do you feel like people responded to that?
I think they had a lot of respect when you say that, and not just lying.
I would agree. I think all too often people just make something up because they want to sound like they know.
Yep.
But I think people take more of a genuine interest in somebody who can admit that and can move on and go, I'm going to get that for you, like you mentioned, but is not stuck on providing false information.
No, but you talked about being genuine, and that's exactly what that is. And that's something I learned very early in my career, is the phrase you just uttered. I'm not sure. Let me look into that and get back to you, because I hear so many people, and I still hear people to this day on both your side of the fence and mine, oh yeah, we can do that. And I'm sitting there going, no, you can't. And that's where you break down that trust so quickly. And it is amazing to me how many people on both sides of our professions here that will say that stuff and break down that trust so quickly because they don't know, or they'll say they can and you can't. I mean, one of the things, little tricks I always used to do was I would tell people, hey, you know what? I'm not sure on that. I mean, it's 10 a.m. now. I'll be back to you by 3 p.m. with an answer. Well, I knew I could be back to them by noon, and that's what I would do. So not only did I get that back to them with the right answer, but I exceeded their expectation, because they're like, oh, I wasn't expecting to hear from you till 3. Well, you're important to me. I found out the answer, I got in there and got it to you sooner. But again, it's just, and we do a lot of training with loan officers, and we do a lot of training with realtors, and just I see that mistake all the time. So it's just refreshing to hear someone, especially a young person like yourself, who goes about it that way. Now, one thing I want to circle back around to is you talked about sometimes you just stay up later when you got to learn more.
Yep.
So we can't do that stuff. 9 p.m. It's like, so.
You're saying you have to get to bed.
Right. I might get up
Sure.
at 5
Yep.
to crack that book back open, but I'm not staying up late like you. You're doing.
The next one, what about comparing yourself to other people, whether that be another person who's just started or somebody who is 5 years, 7 years into it? How did you handle that comparison versus those things, or did you disregard that and move on to your own kind of beat?
Yeah, I think starting out, it's so easy to compare yourself to that top agent that's doing X amount of deals and saying, why don't I get that, or why am I not that good? But the one line that I go by is, comparison is the thief of joy. So once I start comparing myself to other agents, it takes the joy out of the work, right? And real estate's fun. Keep it fun.
Yeah.
So I stopped comparing myself pretty fast, because it just wasn't fun when I compared myself.
So, Colin, we've talked about some successes you had your first year. You won Rookie of the Year through the board that we serve. What are some mini successes? We talked about open houses. What are some other things that you found like, wow, this was something that maybe I wasn't expecting that turned out to be just a success?
It's a good question. I don't know.
Well, I mean, but you went, so your open houses, you worked a lot of open houses, pulled a lot of stuff out of there, and then you went, again, to me, your next success is you were getting from your sphere referrals. You had mentioned that you started earning their trust, and or were referring you to somebody else. I mean, those are the kind of mini wins, successes that I think more realtors need to try to get and win those, because that's where your business, in my opinion, grows, is from your sphere. I mean, you can do the Zillow lead buy and realtor.com buy and buy your awards that say you're the best realtor in town. I'm just saying that happens. So, I mean, was there anything else that just pops your mind like, yeah, I didn't see that happening my first year and it did, and I would look at that as a success?
An example might be, and I've done this. I drive away from an appointment or I drive away from something, and I sit there and think, "Wow, that worked."
Yeah.
I did not expect that, or I didn't expect that outcome right there. A sale happened faster than what you expected, or anything. It could be anything that you just didn't expect.
I think the one thing was just going out of my comfort zone and asking, right? Like sometimes I get so like caught up in myself, like I don't know if I should ask for that business. I don't know if I should go up to that person. But once you do, and it's like, oh yeah, I'll work with you. Yeah, I'm looking for a house. It's like, wait, that worked.
Right.
So that's probably the one success.
Well, it goes back. I mean, they all say, and it must be present. You know, I've said that to people, is like, ask. I mean, so many people don't ask for business. I myself fall prey to that, where it's like you look at someone like, oh man, I can't work with that client or that agent. He's a top 5, whatever. Mm-hmm. They must have the best loan officer in the world or whatever. But you're right. It's taking that step to just ask. I mean, the worst thing you hear is no.
Yeah.
Looking back, what maybe is 1 or 2 things that you might do different?
I'd say, going back on the previous question, was doing the things that work. So I said a lot of yeses last year. Out of those yeses, what worked? What kind of marketing worked? Was it social media? Was it mailers, billboards, you name it? Now it's taking those things that created the most leads, the most clients, and I'm doubling down on those this year. So that's really what I'm working on.
That's what I was going to ask, is what might you do more of? And it sounds like doubling down on
What worked?
Yeah. Did you document anything of what worked? I mean, when you go about it, are you still kind of free with that, or did you start to write out kind of a plan that you said, hey, this was what I did last year. Here are the wins. This is what I plan on doing in 2026.
100%. I started documenting everything and started time blocking, doing everything that you said that I didn't do before I started doing. So yeah, I know what works. I know what doesn't work, and it's kind of go time for 2026.
Yeah, well, the thing too is, I mean, I'm sure you heard all the stats. In 2025, 70% of realtors nationwide close 1 home or less. So as we sit here today, what are you, 19, 20?
20.
20. It's impressive, and I'm not trying to blow smoke at you. It's just to hear the things you're doing, and I think what you're giving us is great. And where we're going here with your one, yeah, you were a yes man, but Aaron had said it earlier here that you have to, your time is valuable. So like when the fact that you see that, I think is very important, because you can't say as many yeses, because you now are building a business, you got a clientele, and if you are getting, because people can be very, if you're very giving of your time, which from what I know of you, you are, they'll suck the life out of you. So you just got to make sure you keep trucking on, and you're like, hey, look, this is not the best use of my time. That's not to say you say completely no, but it's just, that's the thing is if you get, because like you'll find, especially because you're going to get requests because you're the rookie of the year for lots of different things like this. I'm sure you're going to be asked to be on boards with GRAR, LP, was it YPN, all these different things. It's just like, those things are all great. But when I was a young person, I was on like 5 of those boards. And it was
Did it all.
I did it all, but it was too much. But at that time, I was scared to say no.
Yeah.
And I think it's very important, and that's what I'm hearing you say, is like, not necessarily no, but just a little less on the yes.
Yeah.
Do you look at it more as a business now than you did when you first started?
I think I always looked at it as a business, right? It's either you do it or you don't do it. And so you're not going to step halfway in and say, all right, I'll do it kind of here or there. It's you do it every single day, and you show up and you work your tail off. So I think I've always seen it as a business. Yeah.
Well, I just think of what you're saying, the things that you now are going to double down on, the things that you started to do, time blocking and all that. So did that kind of change your mindset as to, okay, now 2026, I'm going to start to hone that in as more of that business rather than just the yeses?
If you want to make real estate a long-term career, you have to have your systems implemented, and you have to track everything. So I found that out pretty early too.
Did you have help with some of that tracking and the stuff that you had to do, or was that kind of you on your own deciding you needed to do that? Like, what are the systems in real estate that allow you to do that, if any, or within your company even, if any, or was it just something you started?
Yeah, so Apex, in the trainings, they say track this, track that, do this many meetings, whatever it is. On my own though, I created my own CRM, so I track everything, you name it, and it's in that CRM, and that's kind of how I track my things.
That's something you pay for?
I built it my own, so I don't have to pay
Oh,
for it.
you got it.
I'm
Okay.
cheap, man. I'm Dutch.
I got you. No,
I'm
no.
Dutch.
That's very cool because a lot of people don't have that ability. So the idea of that and following through is fantastic. Let's talk about marketing that you did in 2025. What were some of the things that you did outside of open houses? Did you spend money in marketing? Did you stay away from all of that? Where did you kind of go from a marketing standpoint in 2025?
I did a little bit of everything. So I tried all of it. I did the billboard, I did the mailers, I did social media, and I still do some of those things that worked. Just to know what works and what doesn't work for me. It may work really good to do mailers for another agent, maybe not so much for me, but I had to figure that out and spend the money on that.
What was the outcome of 2025 as you review back? What were the things that worked the best, and what were the things that you felt like weren't so strong?
Giving away all my secrets. No, I love it.
If they got to do it. So there's a difference between an idea and actually implementing it.
Yeah, I like that. That's good. The thing that worked best for me, I would say, obviously open houses. When I'm face to face with someone, that's pretty done deal. But I think the billboard was really good for face recognition. So it's not cheap, but you get people driving past it. Oh, hey, Colin's a realtor. So that worked pretty well. Mailer, I didn't see the ROI on it that well, but maybe it works if I do it again. But I think open houses are your best bet. It's free. You got buyers coming to you.
Yeah, something about some time.
Yep.
Spending some time.
How was social media?
Good. Well, I'm slacking on it. That's why I'm here, right? I gotta have a better social media presence, but it's been good so far.
Did you feel like it was just like the billboard exposure, or did you feel like it actually returned something to you?
I think it was more like the billboard for just exposure, but now that I have the audience, I can convert that into clients.
I think a lot of people think that they just need to post, just to post, because people tell them social media. Yeah. But what is the plan behind social media? As you said, now that you have the audience built and you're starting to do that, now how do you farm that into something that's useful and more than just posting? Because I think people get caught up in the grind of just posting. Okay, I got to post again, and they don't see the idea of it being part of their business.
Yeah.
What were things that you would in 2026? I know you said you're going to double down on some, but are there things that you would just cut out altogether?
Sounds like the mailers are.
Yeah, mailers might have to go. Yeah, I mean, mailers are fine. It's probably take a different route with the mailer. They're expensive. A lot of things in real estate are expensive. Yeah. It's like the shiny object syndrome. It's like, oh, that works, I'm going to do that. But yeah, I'd say just being really careful of where I spend my marketing budget and how good that return is from that. So yeah, just kind of picking them out.
What's really interesting though about mailers too, you mail it out, it's expensive. You don't know the return on it. You don't get immediate response always from it, no different than a billboard. But as compared to social media where that's consumed right there and then, and you can have calls to action back, or something that's there that can do an immediate response and it's free. So when people are looking at that, the whole idea of mail has kind of gone by the wayside, I believe, in a lot of ways. I think people still do farming, but that's, I think, exposure. Yeah. But I think the way that people now consume social media and doom scroll and everything else, I think that is going to be, especially in your generation that's grown up on it, that's just going to be something that's part of their business.
It's a lot cheaper to post a video and get thousands of views and thousands of mailers.
But those people struggle with being seen.
Yeah.
They have a hard time being on camera. They think it's nerve-wracking. So
be genuine. Yeah. Be you. I mean, people love seeing who you actually are.
Right. Can I touch base on one thing, and you don't have to say any numbers, but you'd mentioned budget. So I ask this question a lot to realtors about their marketing budget, and many don't have one. I mean, do you have a quarterly, annual, budget set aside that, okay, I'm setting so much here for this, or so much of my commissions, or something along those lines?
Yeah. With the whole real estate business, everything that I'm earning, everything that I get, I'm really not touching most of it. I'm saving it, I'm investing it. It's going right back into the business. So the marketing budget is probably a little bit higher than most first-time agents, but it's because I'm reinvesting it and putting it straight into that.
Let's talk about developing a team around you? So you get in the business, you get started, and you have a mentor. Did you start to look at how am I going to develop people of quality around me, whether that was from a mentorship, whether that was from mortgages, whether that was from title, attorneys, CPAs, financial planners, any of that? Did you start to develop a team to help you grow?
Yeah, I mean, if you want to be the best agent, you have to have the best team. You can be a really, really good agent, but if you don't have a good lender, you don't have a good inspector, anyone, you name it, you're nothing to your client then. It's the team that makes who you are. So right away I started building that team and kind of, building the best team out there possible.
What were some of the surprises in your experience of coming up on your first year in developing a team? Was it harder than you thought? Was it people kind of gravitated towards you, or how did you go about building your team?
I think building your team, you put a lot of trust into who you're working with, who your clients are working with. I mean, you have one person on that team that messes up the whole deal.
Sure.
So you learn pretty fast on who's good and who's not the best, and you have to pivot with that. So yeah, I mean, it took a while to build a team, and I'm still looking for more people that know what they're looking for, that are sharp and know their industry.
And I think that evolves over time, and we found it in just the years of doing this, that not only is there turnover, so people will get in and get out of the business, but you're also going to have different people with different expertise. And as that comes along, you're going to add to your team, and it's going to continue to grow and be a valuable asset for you and your clients. What would be advice that you would give to somebody just stepping into the business this year? Hey, 2026, I'm going to start in real estate. What would be something that you would tell them maybe their first or second step to do?
I'd say if you're getting into real estate for the money, I would seriously rethink that decision. This is a people's business. You have to have a servant's heart, and if you're just in it for the money, yes, you can make a great career out of this. Don't get me wrong. But if you're only doing it for the money, don't do it. You will burn out so fast. You won't have the joy in it. And yeah.
So it's not like the TV shows?
Sadly not.
No, but I mean, I appreciate the answer, because I think many realtors, and again, we deal with realtors all the time, the success rate isn't great, but I think they're coming into it with the wrong attitude. And it's, oh yeah, I can just make a quick buck. And yeah, I mean, again, as guys who've been in this business for 25 plus years, I mean, that's not what makes it a success. It's doing off your sentiment, I'm doing what's right by people, you'll be fine. Just do what's right and you're going to be good.
You guys have been in it for a long time. What do you think makes a good realtor? What makes a successful realtor to a lender that's been in the business?
Communication and honesty are the two big ones with me. Because you just talked about teams. You know, I try to be a good teammate or partner to any realtor I work with, and I want that to be reciprocal. And not just in the way of business, but I mean, don't throw me under the bus or something that's not my fault. I'll take the heat, because a lot of the heat falls on the lender, even if it's not our fault or not.
Always.
Right, which is fine. I have broad shoulders. I'm used to it. But that was what makes a good partner to me, or a good realtor, is just that. And then realtors who are relational, not transactional. There's many realtors out there that could care less about you as a consumer and your well-being, and they see a dollar sign above that head. And whatever, that's different strokes for different folks, but that's not how I perceive a good real estate agent. And ones that are honest, just basically, if they don't know the answer, find out before you BS your way through. And I see that happen way too often.
I would add to that consistency. I think a lot of times people start and they try to start something, it doesn't work very well, so they go away from it and they go over here and then they try this and somebody who can narrow in on their business and be very consistent through time and see the long game versus just the here and the now. And I think that is something that a lot of people don't have, and I think you win by doing that. Another one would be openness. I think all too often people they know the answer, and I'm going to just keep going along. They're not willing to be open to whether that's teaching, whether that's continuing education, whether they just get hardened. When you see experienced agents become hardened and they don't want anything new, they're just comfortable in their lane, and there's no continued openness to trying what else is changing. And in 20 years and 25 years, we've seen a lot of changes. And if we just stuck with what it would be, we wouldn't be doing this. That's not in our wheelhouse to 25 years ago when you start. It's not there. So I think you just got to be open to the changes and what happens, and be able to have some discernment on what is a good thing and what is a bad thing, what is something that you want to continue to do. So I think that is maybe 2 additional things that I think I would add to that.
What he's saying is we like people are consistent with their mailers and they do them.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, and consistency in marketing is one thing, but I also just think it's consistency in their business. Even this one, if the lender screws up, if the title company screws up, if somebody screws up, part of being on that team is having a discussion about that and not just cutting it off and going, I'm going to the next person because that didn't work. Mm-hmm. It's having a conversation to say, how do we stop that from happening again? Are we all on the same page? Are we able to move forward, or is that going to be an issue going forward? So I think it's the evaluation of, is that person right for my team? And if they are, it's not just about cutting them off when we're done. I think that happens a lot as well. So something doesn't go their way, somebody's upset, and the team breaks apart because of that. Yeah. And I think that can happen as well.
Hear me utter the phrase to realtors, I want to earn the right to screw up. And what I mean that is we're human. It happens. And kind of adding on what Aaron just said is, that's what I look for. I don't plan to screw up, but it happens. And is it going to be the relationship where, I'm with a realtor who one thing goes wrong and now, it's everything's negative and I'm the bad worst and we move on. I mean, that could be it. I mean, if you screw up bad enough, you should. But that's just, it's building that partnership. I think that's what, is important to me in this industry is there's a lot of loan officers, a lot of realtors, but it's just like making that fit. And I'm not saying you have just one person. I know you've got people you work with, but I think that's what's important is all the things he mentioned, consistency, honesty, and just doing what's right by clients. I think that's the biggest thing.
And it seems very common sense, and you shouldn't have to talk about it, but for a lot of people, it's not.
Yeah. I think trust isn't just given to you, kind of like what you were saying. You earn it through consistency. And so you're not just given it one day, it's
right
through years of consistent showing up for your client.
Thanks for joining us. A special thanks to Colin, Rookie of the Year 2025, Grand Rapids Association of Realtors Rookie of the Year. Very impressive. Thanks for tuning in. Insight to Impact. We'll see you again soon.